Real Madrid has beaten Atletico Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu for the first time since December 2021, and our first La Liga win against Atletico Madrid since 2022. Guys, I couldn't be more happier about the game and about the result. That is something, you know, we're gonna talk about, which I still think it's crazy. I do think it's gonna get overturned, or it's gonna be a shorter ban for Valverde, but I just don't care that much. You know, if the game was a draw, I would be screaming right now. But Atletico, you still held 3 at your stadium. Sorry, at our stadium. And Molina, fair play. Lookman, fair play for the goals, because this second goal was absolute madness. The goals scored in this game were just top quality. Good quality game as well. And yeah, let's just talk about it, bro. First of all, I want to mention that this referee shouldn't referee anymore in La Liga. And, you know, if you think this is a red card, I think you need help. I think you genuinely hate Real Madrid. You have shades like this and watch the game like this, fucking mildly blind. But whatever, you know, whatever floats your boat. We didn't need 11 men because Atletico is our little bro. Trash. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is... Now, you know what? I'm going to leave it until the end of the video to speak on the second player I want to talk about. But let's just start with the first half and the lineup. Arbeloa just came in with the mentality that why change something that is not broken? You know, the only part was that Carvajal started over Trent Alexander-Arnold, which I think is fair because the news came out that Trent apparently was late. But we don't even know if that's true. Carvajal, for the first half, I thought that was my only, you know, bad thought on the lineup, which, yeah, it came out to bite us for the first goal. But Carvajal, Rudiger, Huijsen, Garcia with Lunin at the back, Güler, Tchouameni, Pitarch, Valverde, Brahim Diaz, and Vinicius, you know, for the midfielders and the attackers. I think this midfield did great. Thiago Pitarch, I think he looked a little bit lethargic and tired. I think actually the 63rd minute substitution right after the yellow card was the best decision for him. Arda did great in this first half. I think he was good on the ball. He made one chance for Vinicius Jr, which, in my opinion, Vinicius should have had at least one goal in the first half as well. But Arda, I think he did great in the midfield. Tchouameni, once again, everything defensively and everything on the ball is great. But you did miss that header in the first half, which I'm going to remember because this brother, how tall is he? Like 187 centimeters? What is that? Like 6'1", 6'2"? You should be scoring those headers, bro. That's my only thought with Tchouameni, because if you want to level up your game truly to be, you know, considered up there, you need to be doing things out of the ordinary for your position. And if he scored that goal today, my rating for him bumps up a lot, because this is a huge game for us, especially against Atletico, which we just can't seem to beat until now. Of course, I'm so happy. I'm so happy we finally beat them, and it was with this lineup. Arbeloa trusted his gut and wait, you know, for the same lineup, especially against City, which worked. So why change it? And Fran Garcia, I think he had an okay game. He got cooked, you know, in sometimes, and I did want Carreras to go in there for the second half, but it didn't really matter because they were not going too much on the wings after Lookman was substituted with Griezmann, because Griezmann usually floats in these pockets and Lookman just takes it, you know, around the fullbacks. But maybe it was the right decision, you know, to keep him on after, because he does struggle with pacey wingers with Simeone and Lookman, but they both came off. Huijsen, Rudiger, and Carvajal, I would rate them, Rudiger and Carvajal, about the same. I don't think it was particularly the greatest game. They got absolutely fried for the first goal alongside Huijsen as well. That back heel from Alvarez to Lookman, and the finish was just easy in my opinion. Was just sensational. Lunin couldn't do much about it. I want to big up Lunin as well, because Llorente had a huge chance in the first half, which Lunin saved. Almost. Yeah, it was a bit of a scrappy save, but he saved it. Big up to Lunin for that save. And other than that, in the first half, I really didn't like what Vinicius was doing, because he was just wasting the ball. He was wasting our possession. He was wasting it with Brahim Diaz. He was not doing too much, you know, back passes. He was just doing too much, in my opinion. And the only one that actually did something for the attack was Arda Güler with Tchouameni, passing the ball there and making those runs. But it was just, I think Carvajal shouldn't have started this game. I'm not gonna lie, if Trent started this game, I think we win the game, or we have a better chance of winning the game, even in the first half. Because that first half, of course, ends 1-0 from the Lookman goal, which I already said, really good goal from Atleti. And if you look at the first half, I mean, the stats speaks for themselves, bro. Simeone came to play hard handball, and he doesn't care about La Liga that much, in my opinion, bro. Because this lineup has nothing special for me that I would say, like, yeah, I'm scared. You could see my reaction on the watch-along is going to be pinned, you know, in the top right corner at the end of the video. But this team just doesn't scare me. I never said I'm scared, and I literally predicted the game to end 3-2, which, you know, glazed me. Please, thank you. But we get into the second half, and I see no substitutions. I'm not gonna lie, I thought Arbeloa could have went for Trent right after the first half. But, you know, it worked out in his favor, in my opinion, because Trent, right after he came on, he had so much more energy than the other guys, and it paid off instantly. It paid off instantly. He passes the ball to Vinicius, like, 6 minutes after he came on, and Vinicius, you know, what a finish, but we're gonna get into that after we talk about, you know, the penalty, which, in my opinion, that's 100% a penalty. Hanko, just, right after he made a tackle, he made this face. Just like, yeah, nah, I know it's a pen. He tried to argue, but we all know it's a pen. Literally no ball touched. And was I nervous for the Vinny penalty? Come on, man. Of course I was, bruv. But he does score the penalty. And from that point, Atletico became really good. Yeah, from that point, after that penalty, Real Madrid didn't look, you know, I don't know, that convincing, because in the second half, of course, the red card skewed the stats a little bit on the possession. But Atletico, I thought they were gonna score a second. I'm not gonna lie. I did predict the game 3-2, if I, you know, didn't mention it already. But I just felt like they were gonna score the second goal. But the way they scored the second goal, holy balls. Molina. If you didn't know, by the way, last week or like 2 weeks ago, Molina scored an absolute banger against Getafe from like 30 meters and from the left side to the top right-hand corner volley. And now he does it from the other side, from the ground. Bang! Top bins. Top bins. Absolute banger. Shout out to Molina, because I genuinely think he's a bum as a player, yeah? But that finish, wow. I'm gonna be honest, after that point, I thought this game screamed of a 2-2 draw. Because, you know, Real Madrid was getting more tired. Atletico Madrid was getting more comfortable on the ball. But, he made such a wrong decision, in my opinion, taking off Lookman and Simeone, both of them, for flipping, like, Baena, and you could say Nicolas Gonzalez came on for Lookman in the 57th minute. But I just didn't think they were giving us problems. Let's be honest, Lookman was the only one giving us real problems, and Alvarez as well with Lookman. You know, these were the guys that were actually had a good connection against us. But he did substitute them on, and slowly it started to look like, yeah, Real Madrid is getting the goal. And, you know, with Trent coming on, and Jude, and Camavinga, and these guys, I thought it was just done and dusted, in my opinion, yeah? I thought my prediction was just gonna come true, and I see Trent coming on, and somebody in the chat asked me, who is Trent gonna cross the ball to? And I said, Trent doesn't, yeah? He's just not a cross merchant. You need to realize this. He's not just a cross type of player. He can do any type of pass, and what does he do, bro? 72nd minute, he gives the ball to Vinny. Perfect pass, you know, between the Madrid players, Atletico Madrid players. Vinny takes it there, around the flipping defender. I think it was Lenormand who got cooked there, and just slots it bottom right corner. What a finish by Vinicius. Maybe Musso could have done a bit better there, but nah, Vinicius Jr. I said it on my stream. He had a really bad game up until the penalty. But when you score a penalty in this big of a game, your confidence just shoots up. And that's what happened to Vinicius Jr. And I do gotta rate it from Vinny today, because I thought he was really bad from, you know, the dribbling standpoint and chances created and this and that, losing the ball too much. And you could even say, yeah, I thought this is not like some bad passing accuracy, but in the first half, he did lose a lot of balls. But in the second half, and you make it up for that, you know, so much pressure on you, Atletico Madrid derby, penalty, and then you score the winning goal. What more can you ask for Vinicius Jr.? And yeah, then the red card came, and I was genuinely so mad. I think Valverde should have got a yellow and maybe a warning, you know, a harsh fucking red card. In my opinion, you could maybe look at it from the 2026 point of view, when football is soft in my eyes. But I just don't think that's a red card. He's still trying to get the ball. Yes, he did kick him. He's not trying to stamp on him. He's literally trying to get his leg around him. And yes, he does kick him. But in my opinion, that's a yellow. You know, I think he had like one foul this game, no? How many fouls did he have? Is there like a foul something? No, there isn't, of course. Fouls committed, 1. That was his first foul, and he gets it. Okay, I'm just not even gonna get mad. Get this fucking moron off my screen, honestly. Montero, yeah, if you didn't know, by the way, this guy, of course, gave Jude Bellingham, like, 2 years ago, or 1 year ago, the red card for talking back to him, you know, to saying, fuck off. So, I couldn't care less what this brother does. He's literally a Barcelona fan. I'm convinced now. I don't care about this bum. But, more on the performance of the flipping guys that came on. Of course, Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, he first 10 minutes, I think he did okay. But the red card absolutely killed these substitutions. You know, Trent got the assist in, and then after these guys, they got absolutely cooked by the red card. Basically, all of these guys, yeah, Jude Bellingham, Trent, and Kylian Mbappe came on to better the attack. You know, to win us the game. Kylian Mbappe comes on, has like, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe. Vinicius scores the goal, you know, so we get more defensive, and then we get the red card. So he basically was playing 1 versus 5, and he didn't have the best touches on the ball, but he didn't do bad in my opinion. He just wasn't in the game because of the red card. Trent Alexander, kind of the same, you know, after the assist, he had to defend, and Camavinga, Bellingham, Carreras, they were a little bit ready on. Camavinga, I liked in this game. Jude Bellingham, he won some duels. Fair play to you. You're just coming back. I'm really happy that you are finally coming back. And Alvaro Carreras, he just came in for Vinicius Jr, you know, to strengthen up the defense. We basically went into like a 4-4 or like 4-5, 5-4-1, something like that, you know, without one midfielder, because Mbappe was playing up top. We needed to let somebody be there, you know, to receive the ball. But we did win the game. That's all that matters. And I did think that Arbeloa did great with the substitutions. But the lineup selection, if Jude can come on, I would have started him over Thiago Petarch in this game. You know, Thiago Petarch, yes, he does run. Yes, he does win you some balls. But on the ball, he wasn't so confident. And the same goes for Dani Carvajal. Trent is levels above Dani Carvajal these days. And I do think that if Trent played from the start, this game would have been like 5-2. I'm not going to lie. We had so many opportunities to score against Atletico in the first half. And we didn't even have, you know, the creative players on the pitch. Like, Arda was the one creating with flipping Brahim Diaz. By the way, if I'm going to give props to one last player, if it's not Fede Valverde, of course, which he scored the second goal for Real Madrid. Fede Valverde, honestly, if you didn't get that red card, in my opinion, you're going to be the MVP once again. You're literally a Ballon d'Or player in my eyes right now. You're literally a top 10 player in the world. And it just shows that he didn't even have the captain armband. But in the last 3 to 2 months, Fede actually looks like the captain. Before, I was slandering him, you know, the fan base was literally saying he doesn't look like a captain. He doesn't behave like a captain. But today, when you need him the most, the game is 1-1. Vinny just scored a penalty. We need to go up ahead. We need to take advantage of this. We need to take the game literally by the balls, and Fede does exactly that. Jimenez, you know, Flipper came on and got absolutely fried. He doesn't get rid of the ball. He gets in there, and Fede just presses him relentlessly, and the finish speaks for itself. Trivela scores the second goal, you know, and finishes off the game, as I already said. Well, honestly, I wanted to shout out Brahim Diaz as well, but Fede Valverde, oh my goodness, man. He just does so much for the team, off the ball, with the ball, and right now, when you're adding the goals to your game, that's where you are at your best. Fede Valverde is at his best when he does everything on the pitch and also adds goals. That's his potential. This is what Fede Valverde is. Everything on the pitch up, you know, to a 7 to 8 standard, and you add a goal or 2 goals. That's exactly what I want from you. But Brahim Diaz, shout out to you as well. The whole team, I think, did overall like a 7 out of 10 performance, but individual, you know, brilliance really did save us in this game. And I do think, you know, the goal that we conceded, the second one, what can you do, bro? Like, Lunin had an okay game, in my opinion. He couldn't do shit against the first and the second one. He looked okay in almost every single, you know, action he had to save. Apart from maybe, you know, the Lorente shot, but he saved it, you know. He saved it. First half, second half, I think he did great. He even saved the Sorloth plan from Simeone, which I think he had like 2 headers on him. I think Lunin is going to be a great addition, bro. Even without Courtois, we can do great things. But shout out to the team today. Not the greatest, you know, overall performance from everyone. But we got the victory, even with a red card from the dumbass referee. And if you think that's a red card, let me know down below. Do you think Atletico bottle it a little bit, you know, in the end? Because they got like 24 minutes, you know, against 10 man. But I don't think they really care about La Liga, man. Let's be honest, Simeone is looking at that UCL trophy hungry, bro. But you know who else is hungry? Real Madrid as well. I'm going to see you tomorrow for a video. I'm going to be on Football Chaos as well. Football Carnage. Thank you so much for watching. And if you did enjoy, like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys so much. Hala Madrid. Ban Atletico. See you tomorrow. Peace out.